In 2007, Mattel launched their second ever Disney Cars Mainline series, which was called the Supercharged series. It was only 2 years into the Disney Cars diecast selling on the shelves. However, they had already released in this series some of the most obscure characters, that being all of the cameo Pixar character cars that appeared at the end of the Cars movie. And this was such an odd choice because at the time, most of the characters were more prominent mainline characters and repaints of these characters such as Dinoco Chick Hicks. However, including these cameo cars, I believe paved the way for them to be able to release all kinds of other background cars along the way in years to come. In 2015, Mattel released a 2-pack including Rip Clutchgoneski and his crew chief Brian Gearlooski, and though Brian Gearlooski did not actually appear in Cars 2, the rest of the crew chiefs of the racers did and had been released as diecast. Therefore, I think it was brilliant of Mattel to go ahead and decide to release Brian Gearlooski for Rip Clutchgoneski, since you would imagine he would have a crew chief and this would help to fill in a gap that most people would have in their collection otherwise. In 2018, Mattel went ahead and released the Cars 2 World Grand Prix Globie as a diecast. Not only that, a deluxe Super Chase diecast. I personally can't see a justification for this diecast being a deluxe. However, I think it was genius of them to release it as a Super Chase. For one thing, this character is a very strange choice to be released as a diecast because presumably the Globie is inanimate, not a living actual character, but they went ahead and released it as a diecast anyway and brought extra attention to it by making it a Super Chase, which can bring a lot of speculation into the Cars world. Previously, they had released Bessie, who we didn't know for sure was actually living or not. However, this raises questions and would introduce the idea that perhaps Bessie is not living after all. Mattel has been known to release certain characters with paint jobs that are not quite accurate to how they appeared in the movie, and this was certainly the case with Holley Shiftwell, who changed paint jobs over the course of history in Mattel's diecast lines way more than any other character that I can think of. However, she was originally released with a silvery, darker purple color that wasn't quite accurate to her original appearance in Cars 2 when she was first released back in 2011. It wasn't a terrible paint job, however, it definitely was not spot on. Later on, she was released as a variant with an electroshock device, and this paint job got a lot closer. Then in 2020, she was released with a blatantly pink paint job, which was just no question about it, not accurate to her appearance at all, and there's really no good explanation Mattel could give, in my mind, as to why they would choose to do this. In fact, I think this was a stupid idea on Mattel's part, but it's definitely an interesting thing to bring up. However, later on in 2022, in a multi-pack, she was released with a totally new shade of purple that I think is spot on to her appearance, proving that Mattel can get things right at times, and therefore at times is pretty genius.